Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to my channel. Live stream Wednesdays, well, some Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern. Devin Rex for Art, also known as Yoland. And I'm going to be showing like what I've been up to. We zoom in a little bit there. And we'll just say hi to people in chat. If you want to, I think we're going to be doing image transfers today. And if you wanted to see that, you'll have to zoom forward because we're going to be saying hello and chatting a little bit. So hi Shaz. Hey Dar. Hi Laverne. Hey Carol. And I'm going to just lift this up a bit because it's not looking at the top part of my desk. Sorry about that. Let's try that. Hopefully you don't feel too wonky. Trying to get that level. Oh, okay. Hey, Joe Lou. Hi, Beth. All right, and I'm sitting down. I'm going to just wait and see if the camera's in a good spot, if it looks level. Looks a little wonky. I think it needs to go like that a bit, maybe. So last week, Coloring View was doing some gel printing and she wanted some image transfer advice. And I thought, I haven't really done, I mean, I did help her a bit, not very well, but I tried. I haven't really done a lot lately. So it's one of those things, if you don't use it, you lose it. So we're going to try to do a bunch. I pulled out different things to do image transfers with. So we're going to try on the gel plate. So it's more of a resist technique. But just I'm going to go over some stuff on my desk that I've been working on. I went to the art store with my sister and I bought another pan pastel because I had bought a duplicate color by mistake. So I got this phthalo green light. So I think that's going to fit in nicely on my blue tray. So I think it's going to go here. I think I'm going to move that one there, or this one here. Actually, I could move this phthalo green here and then put the phthalo green light right there. I think that's where I'll put it. So I'll have to kind of move it around a little bit. So that's my plan. That's my pan pastels. The other day, Jane, Living Skies Vintage, I don't think she can come today. She was working on some dominoes from the dollar store. And I was like, oh yeah, I did some of those. So this was I gave one of my domino things away. This is the one that I still have. And because it's wood, it's like cheap wood, it kind of sits up kind of like a screen. Well, it did. It did at one time. And I had just done some jelly plating on it and then stuck some stickers and did some embossing. So these are just stickers from the dollar store. That's a puzzle piece from the dollar store. Hey, View, running through the door. Hi, Diane Bell. Hi, Joanne. Hope I didn't miss anybody. If I missed you, it's not on purpose. Hi, Christina, I see you up there. So I just wanted to show that. So there's just those simple like light wood, is that balsa wood it's called? And they're just like dominoes. But so Jane was working on that and I thought, oh, that reminded me that I had done that quite like a few years ago. I went to the art store with my sister and one of the things I bought was this Celestial glitter ink and I swatched it. It worked better with the dip pen. I don't know if you can see the gold there. Just gonna see how that shows up. Hey Jane, I just showed my domino thing. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. Anyhow, so I don't know how often I'll use that, but I just wanted to show you. And that was from the art store when I went with my sister. We went for her birthday. And then I also bought a couple Neocolor 2s. I bought indigo and a turquoise green. So I had bought this watercolor pad at the Dollar Tree, and it's 300 GSM, and it's actually pretty good. Like it worked well. So I give it a thumbs up. So I did the Neocolor 2s, some Someine ink with the dip pen, some Someine ink drops, some mark making with the dip pen, and then the gold Kuretake, this gold Kuretake ink. And that didn't take very long. It was lots of fun. Oh, you saw them, Jane. Okay, good. Hi, Jackie. So that was fun and easy and low stress. So I really enjoyed doing that. Put it over there. I did finish my little book. I'm going to be missing some dates in June. So I think I'm going to film a flip through of this little book, and I'll put a before I added, like, made my additions in like a picture in picture. So I'm not going to show that today, but I will do a video flip through of that at some point. Which reminds me, yeah, shout out to the Dollar Tree. Although here it's $1.50. It's $1.50. This I started, so last time I streamed, I think Becky Bokern asked me, what's the project I'm most excited about? And I pulled out this canvas with just the base colors on it. And I said, I'm practicing for a piece I want to do for my dining room. So I worked on it. I added these strips of trees from medical exam paper I had gel printed on October 1st, 2025. And this is from my birch forest stencil. So I had a print, and I actually had to rip it up. I didn't have the full print. So I ripped up the gel print, and then I glued it on with the gel medium gloss. So like Jackie Bernardi shows, where you put the gloss medium down, you wet the back of your exam tissue paper, and then you put it on the gloss medium, and then you put gloss medium over top. And it's pretty transparent. So here you can see it a little bit. Maybe I didn't get enough gloss medium, but here there was no paint, and it's translucent. So I'm going to work on covering the inside. I'm going to do like a paint out these parts with either golden open, which dries slower so you can blend it, or I bought some mixable oil paints, which I haven't used yet. So I do have like some in process shots that maybe once this is done, I will share that whole process. So that's something that I worked on this week, actually yesterday. Who did I miss? Hi, Anne. Hi, Laverne. I think I saw you earlier. Hi, Laverne, again. And I did a lot of coloring. I just want to share a little bit of coloring before we move to our image transfers. Shout out to Chris Clue. Her sister created this book. I know Cozy's not for everybody. I still look crooked on there. Let me just try to straighten myself out. I think I have to go like that. Is that straighter? So Chris Clue's sister made this book, and I thought it was really cute. View had it, and I thought it was super cute, so I ordered it, and I forgot to show it the last time I streamed. So I love cats. I love cat illustrations. I love, even though I have a dog, I did have a cat before, and I just think it's really super cute. So I look forward to doing some cozy coloring in this cute book. All right. And then, as some of you know, it was Mermay last in May. Did I miss someone? Oh, hi, Aubrey. Nice to meet you. So I'm just showing some coloring, and then we're going to do some image transfers on the gel plate. So I did this page in Mermaid Coloring Heaven, Mermaid Special, issue 71. And that's the page that I did. So I did alcohol markers. You see the alcohol markers. And then I used a bit of, I want to say polychromos. And then I used, like on the skin, I want to give it like a green glow. I don't know if you can see that. I'll come closer. want to give it like a green glow, but maybe it's too green. So I did a bit of polychromos, and then I did a lot of details with the Languo gel pens. Oh, and I did a stencil in the background with one of my stencil designs with distress ink. I think it's Aromatic Musings is the name of that stencil. So that was fun. Thanks, Shaz. And then I gotta find a spot for all these books. Just put that there. Okay. And then I also did this mermaid in Le Monde Enchanté de Lulu Mayo. And oh, I didn't mark it. Did I not mark? I didn't mark it. I've only done a couple pages in this book. It's a very big book. It's a compilation book. Where is my mermaid? And it's separated by the seasons, which is fun. There, so there's the mermaid I did. I used King Art gel sticks for the background and the base, and actually I think I based everything in the King Art gel sticks. And then I went in with the Languo gel pens, and I'd only used a bit of Prisma pencils on her skin, I think. Everything else was the gel pens and the King Art. So I was trying to make it look like there was rays of light coming through, illuminating her. I don't think it was super, like, totally successful, but it was fun to try. Hi, Carla. Is that hardbound? This one? No, it's not a hardback cover. It's flexible, but it's thick. It's a thick cover, and it's very, I think it's sewn. I think it's a sewn bound book, I've heard people say. It's very good quality. The paper is very nice. Unlike the House of Lulu, it's double-sided, so you can't really use alcohol markers. So I've got a few pages started, and I've got a couple finished. So that's a fun book. I highly recommend it. Yes, J.I. Colorist has been doing phenomenal work in that book. I agree. And then I did another mermaid in the Pop Manga Paint and Ink. I finally caved and bought this book. It arrived, and I thought, I'm going to do a mermaid page, and I'm going to use some mermaid markers. So I pulled out my old handy dandy mermaid markers that will go through regular coloring books, but it didn't bleed through at all. So I used those mermaid markers. I also used a few of these, I don't remember what color, but the mermaid, not mermaid inks, the Legends of the Sea sheen ink. I think for this guy here, that's just the sheening ink that gave that appearance. I didn't add any coloring pencils. Here too, I think I only used Prisma pencils to finish her skin off, and the rest is just the mermaid markers, a bit of watercolor, some Languo gel pens, and the King Art gel sticks just for this light turquoise background. View says, you knew I would get it. Yeah, I tried to resist. So here's a close-up. Hopefully the lighting's okay. I just have my my windows open, so it's a rainy day, so it's nice even illumination. So the King Art gel sticks are a bit shiny. So that was lots of fun, and it didn't really take very long. The gel pens, the outlining, they're called Languo. And let's test my microphone. Can you guys hear me while I'm walking away? I don't know if you could hear me, or did I disappear into the abyss? So the Languo gel pens, that's these ones. That's how they're spelled, if you can see that, Languo. I don't know if there's imposters on the market, but they're very popular, and they work really well. Some of the areas I had to put the little bit of kneaded eraser into the back of it to get the ink to flow a bit more. Just depends what you're doing it over. Sound was good. Excellent. Hi, Rhonda. Yeah, mermaid markers are a Jane Davenport product. She only sells her stuff through Australia, from Australia on her website now, but she used to be in Michael's. When I started getting into mixed media, my entry was the Jane Davenport line of products and her YouTube channel. So I don't know if she still sells the mermaid markers. Okay, so this is not mermaid related, but I gave a try to that dopamine color, and I used this color cube card 376 from the box 2 of the original set. And on my Instagram, I have like a step-by-step of how this looked. So I just did the alcohol marker base, just messy coloring, they also call it. Chris Clue did a thing about it. Sarah Renee Clark did a thing about it. And I did a lot of cross-hatching with my Languo gel pens, and with felt tip markers first, and then the Languo gel pens. And the cross-hatching was really inspired by cat and paste. So I had a lot of fun with that, and it was, the messy coloring was very freeing, and it was more intentional than I thought it was when I watched her video again. She was pretty specific in where she put it. So you can see, like, I kind of kept, you know, I just used the chisel tip, and I didn't make it super careful, but I kind of kept to the different areas. I don't know, it's hard to explain. But if you check out my Instagram and you scroll, there's shots of the different stages this went through. So that was a lot of fun. I'm going to do that again. Maybe I'll do it in that little cat coloring book that Chris Clue's sister made. That would be fun. So that was the color cube card that I used for that. And I don't have any Happy Mail to show today, but I did show, oh, I have another mermaid thing to show. I did show this coloring art book that I bought when I was in the Canary Islands, Lanzarote, and I just think it's a cool style. So I ended up finally scanning these into my computer, and then I printed them out. I had to adjust the contrast and the exposure to get the lines to really show. So I will be coloring these at some point. This might also be fun to put under my gel plate and trace, and then color with pan pastels on the gel plate. I think that would be a fun little exercise. Hey, Zippity. Thanks for coming, everybody. Oh, I just realized I was on top messages, not all messages. So I hope I didn't miss anybody. Jane got you hooked. Not sure. Gel sticks. Okay, I'll show you the gel sticks. So they are the King Art gel sticks. They're all the rage right now. I had some that I bought at HomeSense, and I bought them a few years ago, and I didn't really use them much. I used them in my scavenger hunt this January, and then I saw people using them in their coloring book pages. So these are the gel sticks. So I have the King Art brand. I don't know if there's other brands. So they're really creamy, and you just, so here is, this is like a cheap mixed media paper. You can just scribble them on, and then you can like spread them with like a Q-tip or another device or your finger, but you can also activate them with water. And then once they're dry, you can actually go over them with colored pencils fairly easily. Piggy Pens uses them quite a bit. Okay, that wasn't working. Is there water? Yeah. Piggy Pens uses them quite often. They're really fast and easy. Sorry, I'm trying to get some water. There we go. And they spread. You can spread them with water. There might be like a Recollections one or something like that. So they are water reactive. You can spread them out. You can just use them plain. They remind you of the Faber-Castell gel sticks. Yes, they're probably pretty similar. And then some are matte and some are shiny. So for example, this one here, there's a little bit of shimmer on the barrel. It's a shiny one. This gold here is a little bit shiny. It's just a very, you probably can't even see the shimmer on there. But I have 3 sets. I looked at getting some more, but to get 2 containers on Amazon Canada, it's like $52. So I thought, no, I think I'll just stay with what I got. But what I might do is I might rearrange them by color. So most of these are glimmery, metallic. This set here. So I don't know, maybe I should keep the shimmery ones together and not go by color. I don't know. But I've been using them in my coloring. Here, the black one's missing because I have it on my desk and I use it sometimes to grandify the edges of things. So it's kind of like an oil pastel, but smoother. It's kind of like lipstick. Christina says she loves using them. Diane has the Jane Davenport gel sticks. Oopsie. I don't know which one that goes in. I guess it goes in this one. Yeah. So they're very quick for coloring. They're quite nice for backgrounds. But like I said, in that Lulu Mayo, I think I even did all the flowers and stuff with the gel sticks. Put those away. All right. So this is a whip work in progress. So this one's finished. This was a couple years ago. In 2023, I did this page for Mermaid in the Mythic World Kirby Rosanna's. So that's the mermaid I did back in 2023. Probably watercolor and Prisma pencils or Brute Ferner pencils. I don't remember. So this year, I thought I'm going to try to do something less bright and creepy and more muted. So I'm not done. I still have to shade some of the flowers and the lily pads, all the lily pads, to shade his violin and his horns. But I think I'm going to leave it like that. But the concept I had is I did the water first, and I used my Elegant Writer pen. So this pen, if you're not familiar with it, it's very cool. I love it. So when you put it down and you wet it, it spreads out into some pretty cool colors. And then once it dries, it's fairly permanent as long as you've activated it. And sometimes if you blot it, you get more of the pinky showing. I'll just show you. So I don't know if you can see that. You see like there's a little bit of like a purpley pink on the edge there and a green. So I almost did like the whole page with that. But then I decided I'll just do the water. And then I still have to go back and fill in if the water's not quite dark enough. And I don't think I'm going to outline everything with gel pens. I might add a bit of white to some of the water. Even these, I'm going to just leave them. So I use polychromos. So I'm trying to learn how to use the polychromos pencils. So that's almost done. Not in time for Mermaid, but I'm enjoying that. Hi, Kazi. Good to see you. All right. And now I have a question to ask you guys. Hey, Christina Scrap Craft Stitchery. Thanks, Laverne. Do they rotate like lipstick? I think they must. I think so. Because you get more, yeah, they rotate. They rotate like lipstick. I don't know how much color is actually in there, so I don't know how far they rotate. I haven't used them enough to run out, so we'll keep you posted on that. So I have a question. So I have this bag that I got at the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam, and it's a really weird shape. I don't really see using it as a bag, but I thought maybe I should cut it and make a journal. Make a journal with it, or maybe the straps could wrap around. What do you guys think? And it's a really interesting fabric. So I thought if I cut it here and then across and then here, it would have a nice little ledge. What do you guys think? Hi, Ellen. Hi, mediocre. Welcome to my channel. Hi, Star Traveler. Yes, View says yes. I mean, it's like people have done paper bag journals. It's kind of similar to that. I haven't done a lot of paper bag journals. Should I just do it? Should I cut it? Okay, everyone's saying yes. So I'm going to cut here. And I'm not a sewer, so I probably won't sew the edges, but I'll probably maybe glue them or something. Okay, so I think I want to go all the way to the yellow. That, and then cut across here. Ooh, that's going to be hard to see. Make it straight. Maybe I'll cut here and then come back. And then it's almost like Tyvek. Like I could probably sew some signatures in because it's like cloth, but it seems very rugged. Did anybody, I know some of you guys were at Dee Dee's this morning. Did you see her alter a leatherette or pleather purse that she bought at, I think it was Old Navy? She collaged on some bee ladies using a collage soup book. It was really fun and cool. Dar almost kicked me out of chat though. I was being too annoying. And then, you know what? This would make another journal, right? And it's a cool saying, success is sometimes the outcome of a whole string of failures. That's Vincent van Gogh wrote that to his brother. How a fridge becomes a bag. So this is actually a recycled refrigerator. So if you scan that QR code, you can see how they made these bags. So, and then I could use this as a mock-up on how to adjust the string. So if it's a bag like that, so then you just have to fold it here and I'll attach the signatures there. And then I could make this like an attachment. I could probably sew a button or something on there and then maybe cut this and this could wrap. I don't know, I'll have to play with that. And then this could even be like, I could sew the edges and that could be like a pocket to put stuff in. Anyways, so thank you to you guys for giving me the permission to cut up this bag. I think I had to pay for this bag. Although this would be a better cover because it says Van Gogh Museum. But I don't know how that would be a closure because it's on the front. Hi, Vale. All right, let's do some image transfers. I haven't done them in a while. Some won't work. That's just the way it goes. But let's just go for it. So I should probably have zoomed in a bit more. Let me zoom in a little bit. And I know a lot of people have done bag journals, so I'll look up one and maybe it'll help me figure out how to do the closure. All right, so I was talking about warming up your plate. So what I'm talking about when I say warm up your plate is doing a pull beforehand. And so that's all I did here. This was black. And then I thought, I've got this copy paper sticking around, this blue copy paper I never use. That looks cool. That's the green, metallic green. I like that. Bye, Ellen. Thanks for coming. Hi, Ambient. I think I saw you earlier. I don't know. It's hard when I see people at one stream and then I see them again. I don't remember if I said hi before. So View was asking me about image transfers, and she had some sources, but I said, you know what? The easiest thing to practice on is Vogue. So we're going to start with Vogue. I think wherever you live in the world, don't quote me on this, the Vogue usually works. So it's a resist technique. I have a whole video that did pretty well. It's my most popular video, and it's a long video that talks all about image transfer. So it's basically a resist technique. So you need glossy ink. the glossy ink is what resists being picked up from the plate. And then where you have lighter ink or white, the paint will stick to it more readily. Oh, thanks, View. I'm glad you thought so. Oh, ambient, was it Views? Yeah, I wasn't sure. So Christine actually asked me at Views, like, can you use colored images or does it have to be black and white? And you can use color, but the main thing is that there's contrast. See how this yellow and her skin are contrasted to the background? Her hair might not show up very well, but we'll try her first. And then this is more of a obvious contrast with black and white. It's not quite a black and white picture, but it's colored as well. And then on the cover, so this is the Vogue. I only have one Vogue magazine and I'm using it. It's from 2022. So that's how long I've had it. So you just buy one and then you use it for a lot of years. Like, she would be awesome to do. I saw the insert. I thought this would be cool. I don't know if this cover, if it will work. So I'm just going to pull this out. Maybe we could try it. So we'll start with that, and then I'll talk about some other books and magazines that I pulled out. So I find, if you have a question or you want to get my attention, if you put it in uppercase, I'm more likely to see it. It's not a guarantee, but I'm more likely to see it. All right, so let's do, they're both warmed up. They're both yellow because of alcohol ink use on my gel plate. Let's do this one. The text will probably work really well because it's very high contrast. One of my favorite paints to use for this technique is the Liquitex Basics. So this is Mars Black. Last week when I was doing the giraffe, I talked about Mars Black being brown, but no, that's Ivory Black. That's more of a brown black. Is it Ivory Black or Bone Black or something like that? But Mars Black is like a black. Hey, Becky. If you scroll back to the beginning, I showed the canvas that you asked me, like you asked me what project I was excited about, and I showed you a canvas. I made a little bit of progress on that canvas. So you can, if you want to scroll back and check out the beginning, making like a birch forest. So you have to put enough paint on. So I'm going to be using like my teacher voice. When I did that popular video that I have, someone commented, why do you use so much paint if you're just taking it all off? Well, the reason is that you want a certain amount of paint on here, and you can't put the perfect amount of paint on. It just doesn't happen, like occasionally. So you need to roll it out till it's a certain thinness. It's basically, you want it so thin that you can almost see through it. Whoops, there we go. But not, if it's too thick, then there's too much paint and you won't get that contrast, which will probably happen today. And you want a brayer that's fairly smooth. All my brayers are a little bit wonky, but we'll just try it. So I'm going to use this brayer. I find if I brayer in one direction, it spreads the paint better, and then I go back and forth once it's kind of spread out. And I kind of lift it off each end. I think Keeks was doing some work and she was just going back and forth without lifting it up. And I think when you lift it up, it spins a bit. So now I'm going to take some off to thin it out because it's too thick. And then I'm going to look, and it's hard because I have a piece of paper under there, but I think it's, yeah, see if I lift it up, it's thin enough. So I'm going to just put that on there. And then you got to rub it and get all the bubbles out and not leave it down too long, because if you leave it too long, then the dark areas will start to pick up the paint and you won't get that contrast. So I need to rub it, and you can check it and rub it a bit more. I might have had too much paint on there. Let's see. See, I haven't done this in a while. So everybody, you know what? It's not the easiest thing. So it looks a little sploochy, but it is what it is. So it's still wet. I might just try and take a piece of paper that I had. I grabbed some paper. Where did I put it? Uh-oh. Once it's dry, you have to wait. Oh, is it still wet? It's still wet. I'm going to just put this piece of paper down and see if I can just pick it up. No, that's not the best one because I've got so much darkness there. I think I need to wipe some away, make some designs because there's like a lot of black there, which I don't find very interesting. See, it's already drying up. It's very dry where I live. There. So I just want some spot for the color to come through. And then if you have like a big splooch on her face or something, you can like wipe it off with the baby wipe. Let me zoom in a little bit here. Okay, so I'm going to actually take this out for future. So that's not my best one, I wouldn't say, but you know what? I'm out of practice. It is a process. Maybe my paint was too thin and not even enough. Yeah, Diane says it best. It's a fickle technique. When it works, it's great, but we'll just keep trying. So we're gonna let that dry before we can pull it up. But what I might do is I might use matte medium to pull it up and put it on top of this. This was a pan pastel versus makeup testing that I did. And that might look cool. Oh, that would be cool. I think we'll do that. We're gonna pull it up onto there. Okay, let's try this one. Let's use our Mars Black again. Let's give it another go. I'm going to, oh gosh, my hair is everywhere. Hey, Leona Jean. All right, so if you have a question or a comment, feel free to put a pinky hand in or type in uppercase. I haven't done a video a live stream fully dedicated to transfers in a while. So we're going to talk about different aspects. So that looks pretty good. Let's try that. Oh, let's do this side. We'll try that one first. Okay, once you put it down, don't try to move it because it won't. Giving it a good rub to get all the bubbles out, get really good contact. Hi, Gwen. Hi, Kelsey. Hi, Missy. Okay, we'll take a peek. So that's a bubble, but I'm going to leave it because sometimes you can pick a bubble up, but you risk reducing your contrast. So see there, I had some bubbles. So it didn't, that's where the extra paint is. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to use a baby wipe to kind of just tidy up this one. Just beside her shoe, maybe. I want her shoe to show. And this is it still wet? See, it's already drying. It's so dry where I live. I can't really show you that you can do a pickup. Some people, if things take a long time to dry where you live, you can literally take another piece of paper that's already got stuff on it, stick it on, and pick it up right away. But this one's already drying. So the other thing is sometimes, I know with image laser prints, I have, and with Collage Soup books, I have wiped off some of the paint and reused it and done it again, and it has worked, but you have to let it dry. So I'm going to try it with this magazine page because it was part of the cover. It's quite thick, so it might work pretty good. Although I think I've done the laser prints, I've even done them without wiping them off. But you have to let it dry. So I'm not going to do a perfect wipe off. So we'll try that in a bit. Okay. Okay, let that dry. All right, so this other one should be dry by now. Pretty dry. So we're going to use matte medium and we're going to pick it up on this. Although the blue circle won't be there because I have to turn it over that way. So it's going to be a lighter circle. If I do here, it's not going to be much of a circle at all. I wish that blue circle would be there, but I think we'll do it this way. And maybe we'll get like a yellow circle on her. I'm not sure. So we'll do it that way. Uh-oh, don't ever do what I just did there. I left my brayer down on the paint and then the paper sticks to it and then you get like this paper. Do as I say, not as I do. So there's a roll of paper here stuck on here. So I want to get that off before it dries fully. Okay. Whew, crisis averted. Yes, I'm using acrylic paint. Ink you can use ink on the Gelprinting, but it'll bead up. It doesn't really give you a nice smooth finish. Okay, so let that dry. I'm gonna use a different one that's already dry to pick this up with matte medium, which is clear. And the matte medium, I'm gonna use this Liquitex matte medium. Paper goopies, that's right. Ooh, sorry, that was really loud and right by my microphone. This is a little thin, so hopefully it will spread okay. It's just kind of, so I want it not too thick because if it's really thick and watery, then your paper that you put on is going to get wrinkly and buckly. Let's just do a little swipe with my big one just to get rid of some of the excess. Okay, so we're going to put this on here. What I could have done is I could have actually lifted up my plate because it's on an acrylic sign thing. Oh no! Uh-oh. We'll see. Did you see that? I pulled the paper right off, so we'll see if it's gonna stick. So she's gonna have orange around her chin and a yellow by her eye. That's not bad. Okay, so we're gonna let that dry. So I'm probably going to have like a section here that's not going to pick up the image fully because of the fold that was in the paper. But we're here to be fun, not to be perfect. Okay, let's pick this up. I'm going to put my handy dandy little fan on that other one so it dries. This little fan from the dollar store. It's like a battery operated rechargeable fan. So I'm going to just move this over here so you guys don't hear it so much. And I'm putting that other paper near there too. All right, so it's always fun to colorize a bit. I could have stamped on with some paint right away so that it would dry when we're ready for this point. But since I didn't do that, why don't we go ahead and just put a few pan pastels through a stencil. And I have these handy, so we'll do this set here, and I'll have this stencil handy. I think this is a KP stencil. It was just sort of sitting on my desk. I wasn't really prepared. Let's use this here. I think this might be cool to make like a floor, but I'll have to avoid where I think their legs are. So let's use just a blue. I think her leg is there, so I'm going to just avoid that. And I like pan pastels so much on the gel plate because they are automatically dry. Let's put a bit of green. Gotta wipe this off. Hi, Keeks. We're doing image transfers today. I know you like working on those. So I'm just using, I want to go quick because I want to try to do as many image transfers as I can. So I don't know they're all going to be like a work of art. Okay, let's go back to like a blue. So it's like a darker blue. I can't figure out what's going on there. Okay, her foot's there, so we're good here. And if you don't have pan pastels, you can use soft pastels on the gel plate. I keep thinking I want to buy soft pastels, but then I'm like, why? Why do I want to buy them? I have all these beautiful pan pastels. And let's, you know what, let's overlap it and do like another pattern. Let's do this light green just to really, where's her foot? Her foot's up there. Just to give us some, like a real floor. Can you guys hear that fan a lot or not too bad? Oopsie, that's her arm, that's her ankle. I was trying not to go there. Whoops. Once it's down, it's pretty hard to pick it up unless you have baby oil. And I'm not going to put baby oil because then my paint won't stick very well. My paint will just beat up. But she's going to have a green ankle bracelet. Maybe she's part of witness protection. Let's do one more set here. I just feel like I want it more filled in. Let's use this turquoisey color, lighter. Oh, I got her other shoe now. Did you guys answer me? Is that fan super loud and annoying or not too bad? Hey, Janet. I missed you coming in. Welcome, welcome. Okay, let's see. It's a bit better. I feel like I should put something up to this. Maybe darker. Just to really define where her legs are since I messed up there. Okay. And then I often like colorizing their faces. Let's put, let's actually put a flesh tone. Let's use raw sienna light. Sometimes I'll give them like pink cheeks and stuff, but I don't think I'm going to do that today. Raw sienna light. Which way am I going? This way. That's this one. Let's go a little lighter. Let's do this one here. So I'm just going to totally block in their face. They almost look like what's that? Handmaiden's Tale. I'm going to give her some legs since her legs disappeared. She's going to have some stick legs. Boop, boop. Oh gosh, while we're at it, I can't help myself. Let's give her red boots. Let's give them red boots. That's this one. That's this one. That's this one. Okay, I promise some of them are going to be very simple. Okay, let's do permanent red boots. I just like that contrast with that blue. Whoops, I went over the line. I think are they boots or are they sandals? Well, now they're boots. They're gonna have red stumps on their legs. Let's give them red bows while we're at it. Okay, that's it. No more pan pastel. I'm tempted to do behind them, but I'm not going to. Coloring, ticket for coloring over the line, yes. All right, so now I gotta think what color to pull this with, because you want things to show. And you want it to work with both aspects. Let's use this blue violet iridescent, because it should work well with the green, because it's got blue in it, and it should work well with the red because it's got violet. So let's just do that. And then we can always add stuff over top after. Bye, Carrie. Thanks for coming. All right, so also my tip I have is get your paper ready that you're going to pull it up on. Have it ready to go, especially if you're using like a metallic or iridescent color, because they dry pretty fast. At least here where I live, they dry pretty fast. And I'm using a little bit thicker copy paper. It's like a laser, it's a Staples 28-pound laser print paper. And I'm getting hair in here. I've started taking some vitamins. I just find my hair is really shedding. It sheds a lot. It always has, but it feels like it's shedding more now. I don't know. Okay, put your thing down. Give it a good rub, especially the corners. Edges, that's what dries the fastest. Okay, and then you gotta let that dry. Now, depending where you live and how thick your paint is, how many layers of paint you have, I can't tell you how long it's gonna take to dry. You just know, like when you touch it and it doesn't feel cool, that means it's dry. Okay, so we're gonna put this by the fan. And let's pull this. It's a little bit cool, but not too bad. So some of it's not fully coming up, but I don't want to wait. Oops. So it's a little splotchy, but not bad. So you can see that's the paint that didn't come up on my final pull. And here we can see the pan pastel that I had on a white print before. You can see her face turned out pretty good. This part not so well, but I liked the background we added, the texture we added with that, what's that, the wood graining tool. Cha! Now. All right, so the next one, we want to take up all this, you know, crusty bits. Usually it's fine to leave it, but if you're doing an image transfer, you don't want any extraneous noise, I don't think. Okay. So let's see, I've got other things pulled. Let's see what we should try next. So that was Vogue magazine. Okay, and then you got to let that dry a little bit. You don't want to go on it when it's wet. Okay, so another thing I have ready, and I can use this other side, you know, just because that side's used doesn't mean you can't use the other side once it's dry. I'm going to put that over there. View she had a National Geographic out, and I said they don't work for me. Now I have this National Geographic magazine, which I think should work. So let's try a picture from there. So we'll do that. And then we'll try, this is a 2013 National Geographic. I've never had National Geographic proper work for me for an image transfer. So we'll try this one. We'll try it. This has pretty good contrast. I do see glossiness, so maybe it will work. So let's try those. So I'll put my finished prints someplace safe so I know where they are. Okay, so let's try. So this is the magazine. I expect it to work. Let's use purple. You don't always have to use black. Let's use Prism Violet. I know with my collage soup books, it works better if I use a fluid, a golden fluid. So maybe that's what's going to work for this. I don't know. But let's just try the inexpensive Liquitex Prism Violet. Oh, that one's transparent. Usually, I meant to grab dioxazine purple. Usually that's what I like using. Let me just grab that. I don't find the transparent ones are as striking. Okay, so I'm not going to use this. So let's put this in on something. Ixnay. I'll just put this, maybe we can use this for a pickup later. So I'm just going to put it on a palette and we'll see, maybe we'll use it later. So I'm just going to kind of scoop it on there. And put this over here. Okay, I gotta wet my fingers. Okay. Okay, so let's use this, take two. So dioxazine purple is opaque. So when we pick it up, we'll get a more definite image, is my feeling. Even white, I've used white, but it has to be quite opaque and it gives you like a negative type of look. In that popular video I mentioned, I did use white gesso and it worked quite well for the white. It was just seem more opaque. And this is beating up for some reason. So I don't know if my baby white made it too wet. So that is pretty thin. I'm just going to go ahead, put this on quickly. You got to get your paper, your magazine or your image down before it starts drying, because you want it to dry to the paper. You want to smush out all the bubbles, but not leave it on too long. It's not bad. The bottom's pretty good. The top is a bit darker. I like the bottom. Bottom's good. Just giving this top part a little extra rub-a-dub. There we go. Okay, now I'm just gonna wipe this image. And even if you don't use it again for an image transfer, you have a second image you can use in collage that you've now colorized, especially if it's not black, if it's like an interesting color. Okay, let's keep going. This is the dioxazine purple. So I don't plan on retrying that one, but I could use this in distressed page in a collage journal. So that's the National Geographic magazine. I've got a few splotches, that's okay. And let's pick that up with gold. I think that will look cool with gold, but we have to let it dry first. And the other thing people do is they don't let this dry enough. And then they start putting the other paint on, and it just smooshes the paint you have on there. You have to let that dry if you're picking it up. If it's still wet, you can stick a piece of dry paper on it and you might pick it up. But the other thing, people will use a brayer that's dirty and still wet, and it will contaminate whatever color you're trying to put on. So I'm just cleaning this off. Usually I just let it, I roll it off and I let it dry naturally, but I'm just gonna clean that one off. Christina had a question. Oh, it went away, but about copies. They have to be laser copies, and I haven't had much success with laser copies myself. I think you need a lot of toner. You need the right paper that you're copying on. I am not an expert on laser copies. I would watch Froyle. She does a lot of laser copies. I think Eddie Makes Art has done a lot of laser copy transfers. I just don't have a laser copier. I haven't had much success if I've gone to like Staples and gotten a laser copy. It hasn't worked very well for me. I have bought laser copies or gotten laser copies or prints from P. Marty Studio, and those worked well. And I did do a video of that. All right, so here is our other Vogue one that we did with a bit of pan pastel, and then the pink blue violet paint, the PBO. Because it's got a blue tint in it, it keeps the vibrancy of the blue and the green. Because it has the pink tint, it keeps the vibrancy of the red, I think. So there's our Handmaiden's Tale ladies. The modern Handmaiden's Tale. So can you guys see that okay? So Christina, did you hear my answer to that? Yes, okay, good. That's something I'd like to do, use laser copies, but I don't want to buy a laser printer. Okay, so there's that one. So that was a Vogue. Now I've got pan pastel in there. I could do a ghost print and get a little bit more off, but it is going to take a while. I do like her shoes, but I'm just going to wipe it off with baby oil. And then, unfortunately, it's going to leave my surface a little bit slick, and I might not get a good transfer the next one, but we're going to risk it. We'll try to clean off as much of the baby oil as we can. So when you're cleaning off the pan pastel, so I could have picked that up and get a little bit more off, but you never get it all off. So I'll show you how to clean it. So you use your baby wipe, and you got to push. You got to give it good pressure, and then rotate your baby wipe, so you're not just smearing it around. See the colors coming off on there? See that? But you got to rotate. Thanks, guys. I'm glad you liked that one. Meanwhile, this one's drying. And like I said, depending where you live, it's going to take longer to dry. I don't live, even though it's raining, it's been raining for like 4 days, it's not very humid where I live. So things dry fast. Well, today we'll see if we can do that technique I mentioned where you take your magazine or paper off and then you plop down another paper, pick it up. If I can get one that's going to stay wet enough. Diane, I know you do a lot of stuff with Golden Open. Have you done image transfers with Golden Open? Because I know it stays wet long, but I don't think I've ever done an image transfer with it. You like the red boots? Thanks, Laverne. Okay, so I'm just wiping my fingers. I'm going to use a paper towel to try to get some of that baby oil, because the baby oil is going to make my paint bead a little bit. And there's a fluff that was on there. Okay. All right, so now we're going to try, you know, it's not fair to try to do the National Geographic on something I just used baby oil on. That's not a fair comparison. So you know what, this is dry. Let's pull this one. We'll do something else on this one until, okay, so we're going to use gold. And this is the, this is my favorite gold, the PBO, my favorite gold for the gel plate. PBO high viscosity, rich gold. Iridescent precious gold. Sorry, it's in multiple languages. Hello, Brian. Welcome to the channel. Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying it. And again, you got to get your paper ready. I think gold pops really well on black. So let's go ahead and use a black cardstock to pick that one up. Like I said, have your paper ready. Just gonna get my new brayer off there. And I'm getting gold paint everywhere now. Okay, let's do this. This would have been cool as an ombre, but I decided just to do gold. I think an ombre would be cool on a cityscape. And again, you don't want it too thick because then it's going to take forever to dry and it's going to buckle your paper. Although this is cardstock, it can probably take it. Thinner papers buckle easier. I have done image transfers onto deli paper, onto tracing paper. All right, Diane says, I've done a couple of open paints, works, but takes too long to dry. Yeah. Let's see, what else did I miss? Hi, Carla. Do you have Office Depot? I did try at Staples, and it didn't work. I don't know if the paper wasn't good, like the laser print transfer didn't work well for me. So I gotta work on that. Some people say print it in a color laser, but have a black and white picture, but printed in color. I don't know. Okay, so we're gonna let that dry. Okay, I'll put it under the fan. Let's see. This is pretty dry. Let's do a redo of this one and see. Again, it might not be a fair fight, but let's see if we can redo that one. That one was black. Try an ombre. We could do red to purple since we liked red shoes. Let's try that. Let's just do, and then I'll see if I can pick it up right away. Okay, so let's do the purple to red, and we're gonna have some brown in the middle because purple and red we're gonna make brown. And then this cadmium red is semi-opaque, so at least it's not transparent. I didn't see anybody answer if my fan is being really loud. It's loud to me. I feel like I'm yelling. Where's my big brayer? Here it is. We'll use the big brayer. If you're ombreing two paints that you're doing the transfer with, I recommend using the same brand of paint because different paints dry at different rates, have different consistencies. I'm going to leave that like that. And also, don't combine a metallic with a non-metallic for the base because it's not going to dry the same rate. You can do it for the pickup. It's not quite as important, I don't think. Did I say Brian? I guess you're Brienne. Did I read that wrong? Sorry. Oh, no, it says Brian. Sorry. Okay, I got distracted. All right. So that's our second go at it. It worked okay. Let's see if we can just pick it up right away. I don't know. Oh, it'd be better if this had some pattern. Oh, well, let's just go for it. Just curious. And the other thing we can do is we can wipe this off. And maybe use it again. I don't think I'd use it again like as a transfer, but I think maybe in a collage or an art journal page, it would look very distressed, could look cool. Now they remind me of like witches. This might be cool in my Halloween journal. It's like they're kind of glowing. Let's make so some of the ink's coming off now. Magazine isn't as, good quality, but so that would be, I think I would let that dry and I'd throw it in my Halloween journal, just like that. Although we could still do a transfer of that side. So but we have to let this side dry first. Okay. So did I get it on there fast enough? Yeah, I got most of it. So you can do a direct pickup. I mean, it'd be more interesting if this background had something on it or if this was black on a colorful background. So we might try that again, but I just wanted to show that you can do magazines more than once. Okay, so put that there. That's just kind of like a test. Let's try the National Geographic now. I just need a baby wipe to get this extra paint off. You guys having fun? Is this okay? And I'm not the expert, but I have done quite a few transfers. But like Diane said, it's very fickle. All right, so we're going to try National Geographic, which I have never had work for me. I'm tempted to do the technique I use in my collage soup books using the carbon black. We could do, let's cut this in half. Let's do a test. We'll use carbon black on one separately, and we'll use the Liquitex Basic Black on the top part. That way it's sort of fair. Okay, so we're going to do this one here first. I'm going to do them one at a time just because of the time sensitivity of it. And I'm just putting that there to remind myself that I can't do the whole plate. Okay, that's probably too much paint. So if you have a question or comment, feel free to give me like an icon so I can see it, or write it in uppercase. I'm not seeing. Oh, and then my chat stopped. Okay. And of course, let's talk about copyright. So these are copyrighted images. I'm not selling my work. I am using these in my art journals. So, keep that in mind. And let's get a piece of paper. So many variables, yes. Yes, condition of plate. So every now and then, if you find your plate is not performing well, look at that, it worked. Well, aren't I a big liar? National Geographic doesn't work for me. Okay, well, I guess it does. I got a little bit, some little lines there. Okay, I guess it does work. Story of you. Let's wipe this little extra bit here. Yes, not selling. Probably if you did image transfer from a source like I'm using, and not your own images from a laser print, then and you tore it up into such small pieces that you couldn't recognize it, then yeah, you could probably put it in something that you sell. But if it's like a collage soup book, I believe those are AI generated. So, I think you could sell those. Okay, so this, I'm using the carbon black, and it's fluid acrylic, which you'd think would dry slower because it's fluid, but it actually dries faster. But it is a very nice dark black. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to put this down. It's pretty thin. And then I'm not going to make sure I don't go over that image there, which you can see is almost already dry. Got all the bubbles out. Yeah, that one worked too. Well, I'm just a big fat liar. I just want to get that middle image better. See, the more you put it down, the more it comes up. So I didn't do a great job on that top one. And if I wouldn't have been pushing it back down, it probably would have worked better. I think I filled it with it too much. Could just be the contrast in that image wasn't very good. On this image here, I'm just going to wipe this back. So the contrast on this image maybe wasn't very good for an image transfer. So that's a good example. I'm just going to make a little bit of texture just to give us something to work with. So that's got to dry. That's almost dry. This I'm going to put to use in my art journal because it's nicely distressed. Hey, Janet. Okay, so we're going to let that dry. This one, okay, so this is matte once it's dry. The fluid acrylic, the carbon black, will always look a little bit shiny, so you can't use the appearance of it to judge whether it's dry or not. Excuse me. All right, so those worked, so we're going to let them dry. They're almost dry, but we'll just... Okay, let's see if this other guy's ready to go. So this was our city of gold. I think it was London, actually. I didn't tell you guys which city it was. So there's London, and this is with the purple. It's not quite as good. Let me just wipe this, see if I can wipe this back. Ooh, this looks cool. The Sphinx looks very, ooh, I like that. Look at that. That looks neat, the way I wiped it back. I'm going to send that one to Dee Dee. I think she could put that in one of her worlds, and it would look like a time traveler. So that's going to go in my pile for Dee Dee. Okay. So that was from this one, the National Geographic magazine, not the book. But apparently The National Geographic book works, and at least the one from 2013. I mean, this is a collector's edition, so maybe they used better ink on it. I'm not sure. I could grab out one of my other ones, but okay, where are we at? So another magazine that works good is like travel brochures. They have usually nice glossy images, so we could use that. Okay, you can combine things together. Like you can make a collage and then do an image transfer of your collage. So we could put these two together, give her like a cruise hat. Should we try that? Let's do that. I'm going to just tape that down with some double stick tape just for fun. And I think some of you also see me combine botanical printing with image transfer, or you can combine let's give her, let's go there. You can combine like masks with image transfer to get some funky techniques. Well, this is a gel plate. Lovely images would work. Not sure, I don't understand your question. I'm not sure I get that. Sorry, Brian. All right, let's use, she's kind of steampunky. Let's just go ahead and use black, copper. We could try copper. You have to work fast with metallics though. I'm not sure. Let's try it. What the heck? We're here for a good time. Watching me fail is fun for people. Make sure you have a clean brayer, or dry, at least a dry brayer. So you have to work fast to get just the right consistency of your paint. And here I'm being risky because I don't remember what magazine this one's from. And I'm getting these little dendritic things in here. Just going to go a little bit lighter, pushing just lightly to try to spread it. I think it's going to be bubbly because I can see my paint is going, like doing that. I don't know. She kind of worked. We'll see when we pick her up. I'm going to wipe that off. She looks cool in copper, but we might try her again. We'll let her dry. We might try her again. I think she'd look better in black. So I'm going to just put that aside, let it dry. So I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me put something behind here. Her nose is smushy. This part worked. See, there's all these like little lines. I think I had too much paint and my brayer was getting a little sloppy. Yeah, so I'm just cleaning off that paint because it was kind of gloppy, gloopy gloppy. But we'll try it. Is it still wet? I could put it onto black. Let's see if it's still wet. No, it's drying already. Yeah, things dry very, very fast here. And I'm just gonna throw that out, but it did work. That worked pretty well. Let's see, is our Okay, so this is ready. So you can see that this one that we did with the Liquitex is matte looking. This one that we did with the carbon black still looks shiny, but it's actually dry. So you can't go by the appearance to judge whether it's dry. You have to kind of touch a corner. All right, so let's do this. This one, it did work, but then I put it down again and it ruined it. But I feel like doing crazy fluorescent colors. Diane has been happy to get back into botanical printing since things have been growing again. That's awesome. Yeah, things aren't quite growing here. Looks like a cake on her head. Yeah, I like that. Okay, let's do some bright colors. Let me grab out my neons. Let's do orange, pink, purple, or yellow, pink, purple. These are pretty transparent though. Maybe I should, oh, you know what? I'll use my good neons, my proper, this, do I have a neon purple? Not really. Okay, we'll use these two. I trust these two more, and then we'll try this purple. Now I got to get my paper ready. Paper ready. Okay, so we're going to do an ombre of yellow and pink, which should give us orange in between, and then pink to purple. We could have used a blue, but we're going to use this purple. And I'm going to use my big brayer. I do find ombres a little bit easier with this wide brayer. Hi, Sherry. Okay, and then I got to get my roll-off area ready. And I'm lifting it up and moving it over. I'm lifting up. I'm exaggerating my movement. I'm just lifting it up ever so slightly. I'm not lifting it up as much as it seems. Okay. Skating. Woo. Doing a good press down. And then I'm going to try to brayer this off a little bit more. I think it's pretty much dry. And then I got a little chunk there. So I try to check and clean off any chunks as I'm going, because if you don't, you're going to have like a splotch in your gel prints that you're like, why is there this little splotch? See the splotch here? Oh, that actually, yeah, that was from, no, that wouldn't have been, I'm not sure. I think that splotch was from this chunk of paint. Okay, so let's move this to the fanned area. And let's pick this up with black on white paper. And then we're going to do some collage soup. So I'm lifting up ever so slightly on the up roll and the back roll. Okay, and then I make sure I cover it. Okay. And I'm not pushing like hugely hard. Okay. I'm getting hungry already. I see my camera has got droopy again. It does this every time. It's a midlife holder. Yeah, that's a good idea, Diane. Rubber stamps on hand for embellishments on the backgrounds. Yeah, you can do it while the paint's wet, like when I use the this. I'll show you my favorite transfer I've ever done in a minute. Actually, now's a good time because those are both wet. Okay, my favorite transfer was not that long ago. It was this David Bowie transfer from a Rolling Stones magazine. So I did the David Bowie. I used pan pastels to color his shoes, his hair, his face. Well, maybe not his face, but his lips and his eyes. So that's my favorite transfer, I think, that I've ever done. And we did on a background using some different tapes. And I think I blocked out the transfer and then put the tapes on top. I can't remember. There's a video for that. So that's my favorite image transfer I've ever done. I forgot to mention, next week, the 10th, Anne Lahr's going to be streaming. I usually alternate with her. So she's on next week. The week after, the 17th, Anne and I are both unavailable. So actually, Carol, my quiet corner, she usually comes on at a little bit after, right after me and Anne. She's going to come on a little bit early. She's going to come on at, let me just do the conversion here, 2 p.m. Eastern. So she's going to come on a bit early on the 17th. And then the week after, I don't remember the date, the last week of June, I'm going to be a guest on Anne's channel. We're going to stream together on her channel. So this is really my only live stream by myself this month. Hi, Apple. So I'm going to make a post and put it in my post tab about the updated schedule for June. And then July, I have to talk to Anne. I've got to sort of switch some things around for July as well. All right, so here is our National Geographic that I always said doesn't work. Well, it works. At least this edition worked. So there's our, I mean, it's not perfect, but I'm going to write down National Geographic on here so I remember. This one, I ruined it by putting it back down, but technically it did work. National Geographic. I'm going to put the date, June 2026. So those did work. This one worked better. They're both the National Geographic. I just did two different paints. This top one was the Liquitex Mars Black, and the bottom one was the Carbon Black Golden Fluid. And it didn't work because I pushed down because I was trying to get this one that didn't have great contrast, but this part worked pretty good. I love some neon. All right, let's try some collage soup. Now, collage soup, it is very, depends where your copy is from, the ink that they use. So I do like using black and white mostly for the collage soup images. They just work a bit better. These two images are from Something to Talk About. This book has colored images on one side, and then black and white on the other side. Now, these are primarily AI generated. So if you are opposed to AI, then don't buy these books. But I'm not opposed to AI completely. I feel like these books, you sort of transform them and, you know, but there's lots of issues to consider with AI. So, okay, so let's do these ladies. We'll use the black, where is it? Carbon. They're very high contrast. And then these leaves, I thought we could try to do an ombre of sap green and quinacridone magenta. So that's my plan. I had other things planned, but I don't know if we're going to get to them. But let's do this first. All right. Carly, I wondered why I was getting dizzy. It's because I was rolling around in your pocket. Should we be crazy and see if we can pick it up on another piece of paper right away? If I go fast enough? What do you think? Should we do it on this? This paper's a little bit bumpy. I don't know that it would pick up very well. Would this be too weird? Remember, it's going to be opposite. We could try that. This is just Bombay inks, smack and dragged. If it feels like it's dry, then I will just slip this on and we'll see if it works. We'll see if we'll try it. Okay, so give it a good shake. I'm gonna use my big brayer for this one, I think. Try to get it smooth quickly. Okay, and then we're gonna back and forth. Try to get everything covered. This plate does have a little bit of a indent. Okay, I think that's thin enough. I don't have time to pull it up to check. Just drop it once, don't move it around. Give it a good press. And this usually happens pretty quick with the collage soup, but I haven't done them in a while. Oh, yeah, there we go. All right, let's just try it. Hi, Lindy. And I think that'll come with time. You're going to need a prescription, so don't get too worried about that. All right, so give that a good rub. And then we're going to give this a bit of a clean, because I think we could use that again, especially since it's such high contrast. I tried it, oh, I don't know, it's not coming off very good. That carbon black, yeah, well, it might be enough to try again. We'll see. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a wipe. I'm going to stop because I don't want to take the ink off the paper. I can still see the sheen from the ink. Remember, this is a resist technique. The ink on the paper is resisting the paint sticking to it. Okay. All right, let's see if that other one's ready. This was the copper picked up with black paint. All right, so you can see this worked well. This was a bit smooshy. We could be crazy and try to put, why don't we do a transfer with white of just this image and see if we can put it on there. I wonder if we could do it with my 5x7 plate, although I haven't warmed that one up. Let's just try it. Let's use titanium white. And then I'll pick this up. If it does work, we'll pick it up and we'll smush it down. Let's try it. Sometimes this is how we make discoveries, is when we, well, especially live, when we don't have time to think too much, but that's also when we make mistakes too, to be honest. All right, I'm going to Just put enough just to do this section here. I don't need the full plate. This white is pretty opaque. Okay, now it's getting thinner, too thin maybe. All right, let's do that. And let's put that on top. Try to get the bubbles out. Oh. Whoops, I scratched down there. It's a little bit better. Oh, what the heck. Let's put that on there. See if we can get it to the right spot. Ooh, that's hard to see. Ah! Ah! I don't know if I'm in the right spot. I think I'm off. Oh, yeah, I'm off. It was just a little hard to see. She's gonna look creepy. She's too bubbly. Something about her. She's got her, it's her bubbly personality. Yeah, let's just give her up. She's served us well. Okay, let's try to do. Hi, Alicia. Now we're just being crazy, trying all sorts of things. Well, it's something. I'm gonna wipe this part off though, if I can. Nope, it's already dry. Oh well, I might have ruined it, but it's too bubbly. Too bubbly. All right, let's try these leaves. We're gonna do an ombre. Let's see if this one's. Let's see if this is picking up. This one's picking up well. Let's just show it. Eek. So this one, we had the Bombay ink smack and drag already on the paper. We did the image transfer with the collage soup book using the carbon black, and then we put it down right away, and it picked up mostly everything. So I like it. So you could cut these out and put them in your journal. This one turned really, I like that one the best. That one's really cool. And I think we could use that image again once it's dry. Even though you can't see it, I can see there's still some shine left there. So we'll see how much time we have. All right, so now we're going to try to do this ombre, okay, with the with these two. Again, they're the same brand. They're both the fluid. I find the fluid, golden fluid, works better on the collage soup books. And I don't know why. I don't know why that is. So I don't think I'm going to have a time for a giveaway today, but I'll do one. And I'm not streaming again by myself until July. So I will put the June schedule in my posts, my YouTube posts. I don't call it community because I didn't open in community. I'm not great. I mean, I find between Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, I don't have time for any more commenting, watching, etc. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay. And every magazine or paper or book is going to have a different amount of time that you need to leave it. I think I'm going to not wipe that back. I like how it colorized it, although I might just spread it. And then here we have our transfer, which I think it looks pretty cool. Maybe I will wipe it back just a bit to spread it to the other areas so I can use the whole paper. Yeah, it doesn't really want to spread too much. Oh well. This will make a good tag or something. Oh, Anne says we can do joint giveaways when we stream together. That's a good idea. So I'm streaming with Anne the last week of June, and you want to put the date down? On the 17th, neither Anne or I are streaming, but Carol, my Quiet Corner, is going to start early. She's going to start at 2 Eastern. I think this would be pretty picked up with like a buff color or a gold. What do you guys think? Should we do the gold or a light buff titanium? Oh, that fan, oh, so much better. Okay, so before we go, I'm going to try this Cary Grant picture from this coffee table book called Icons. So let's let this dry a little bit more, and then we'll pick it up. Gold buff. Well, I'm getting varied ideas on that. So we're going to use this Cary Grant book. Again, copyright. I'm not selling this. All right, so what about, I'm trying to think of a different color. Like a dark blue might look cool. How about a Prussian blue? Because I don't want to just repeat what the image is. Apple says this wasn't an option, but I'd use a very light blue. Okay. Gold, gold, 2 golds, 2 buffs. Okay. All right. Oh, I should clean this off here. We could pick them up with that color that I put aside for later, because if I remember where I put it, with this one, we'll pick them up with that color because I don't want to waste it. Okay, so this is Prussian blue, and it is an opaque color. You can do image transfers with transparent colors. It's not my preference. It doesn't want to stick down. See that? I am a mess. Okay. All right, Cary Grant, show us your stuff. So this is a coffee table book that has glossy pages. Okay. Now this plate has some undulations in it. So it is giving me different paint thicknesses, which could be why some of the prints on this gel plate look more bubbly. That could be one of the issues. So it's best to do it on a plate that is nice and flat. Oh, see, it's too bubbly. There we go. There we go. We're getting them. So all these bubbles I'm getting, I'm going to blame this gel plate. So there we got Cary Grant. And we're going to let that dry. But he looks cool here too in the Prussian blue. Let's just wipe him just a little bit, just for... Maybe he looked better Prussian blue. He looks like Elvis. So I could try him again once he's dry on the other plate to see if I get less bubbles. I'll have to watch the playback and see were my worst prints on this gel plate. So maybe it's time for a new plate because this one's getting a little rough. This was my first 8x10 plate, and it is getting a little rough. Is this still wet? Still wet. I could grab a light blue. Do I have a light blue paper? Can I do it fast enough? Let's see. Did I wait too long? Yeah, I waited too long. I thought maybe he'd look cool on that. We could pick him up with matte medium once he's dry. Okay, let's let him dry a little bit more, and then we'll pick him up with matte medium on there. Do you think that might look cool? We do, especially do the yellow over here on that side where it's like a bit brighter. Okay, we'll do that. All right, let's do this one. This will be our last two prints. I wanted to do one that on a coffee table book. All right. Now I already did a gold print. What would look cool would be if we had some gold stamping on this behind, but I really feel like I just want to do something soft. Maybe this Naples yellow. Let's do Naples yellow. We haven't done anything soft. Could do an ombre, but we already have an ombre on the top part. And there's nothing, you can do a double ombre. There's no rule that says you can't. You just have to think about your colors very carefully. This big one's still sticky. I'm going to use this one here. And okay. And then we're going to pick Cary Grant up with a matte medium. So I'm lifting up slightly. If you want to take paint off, you have to physically roll it off. Just moving your brayer around isn't going to take it off. It's just going to spread it around. Okay, I just did very lightly that last pass. Matte medium on exam paper would be nice. Yes. Oh, too late, Apple. Yeah, Naples to buff would have been nice. When I get that feeling, I want sexual healing. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Little Marvin Gaye for y'all. This is an adults only channel. It's not OnlyFans, but it's only for adults. Buttercream frosting. Yes. Yummy, yummy. Okay, and then while those two are drying, we'll do a review of all the prints because I got about 5 minutes left. And then once I clean up, I'll join you all at Carol's. That's my quiet corner. But I need to clean up, make my thumbnail, yada, yada, yada. All right. Okay, so I was going to use this, wasn't I? Oh, but I like this idea. I want to use this instead. So I'm going to use this. All right, matte medium. Okay. That's a good way to use your brayer offs is See, this is still, no, it's not too wet. Okay, we'll just use it. If you use a wet brayer, you're going to spread, you're going to contaminate your other color or your matte medium. Oh, see right there? I think that came from this. Uh-oh. Oh no, Carrie. I'm, oh no. Okay. We'll have to stop, drop, and roll. So I don't know if the paint wasn't, oh, I missed the top. I don't know if the paint wasn't quite dry or if my brayer was still a little bit wet. Oh, Carol's not streaming today. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Oh, okay. Well, maybe I'll go a little longer then. I'm so sorry. Oops. Wow. Okay, so maybe I got a couple more experiments we'll try then. And Carla's saying that Karen McCoy will be on at 4 Eastern. She's very inspirational. I think she calls herself the grieving artist, or something about grief. Oh, that's awful. I'll have to message her later. So sorry to hear that. Okay. All right, let's see. This paper's thin, so it's buckling a little bit. Okay, let's see how this is doing. See how fast things dry at my house? Like, things don't dry this fast everywhere. So don't worry if yours doesn't pull off this quickly. So I like that. It's like a vintage botanical vibe. Okay. So let's do another one. I'm thinking I want to do the Prussian blue with that prism violet, although it's quite a dark color. Not sure. Okay, one thing I wanted to test was if old magazine, like old, it's like those old style magazines that if they work. They don't look super glossy, so I don't know if they'll work. So I wanted to maybe try her. I actually got some glue on her, but I don't want to use her if it's not going to work. So let's do a test, and we could just use this for that, because I don't think it's going to work for what I was thinking. So let's go ahead and take this. Yes, Karen McCoy is slapping paint on paper. Okay. And there's still a bit of Prussian blue on here. So I think it was my brayer that had some of the Prussian blue on it that contaminated good old Cary Grant. So let's try this and see. I don't think this is going to work, but let's try it. The worst thing is that we'll have a colorized image. Oh, that's wet. Let's try that again. Okay. Oh, look at that. It kind of worked, actually. Interesting. I'm just going to put that right down. Feels like there's a bit of glue on the back of this too, so might as well use it up. So maybe we'll try that lady with black paint. So it did work. Okay, let's try it. Let these dry. Those can be used as collage paper. Nicely purple made. Okay, let me get a... So since I'm not streaming a couple weeks, I'm gonna go a little longer today. I'm sad that Carol can't be streaming for that reason that she's not streaming for. Okay. All right, so we're gonna try this lady. I think flowers coming off the top of her head would be cool. Do I have any flowers? Let's try that Vogue magazine. Where did I put it? Come on, let's Vogue. Let your body move to the music. Hey, hey, hey. I'll do a quick flip while, for those of you that have to leave, that was the collage soup on paper that was painty already. That was our travel. Yeah, that was a bit of a fail. That's National Geographic, which worked. This was a travel magazine, I think. Purple with the gold pickup. This was take 2 of a Vogue magazine. That was take 1 of the Vogue magazine. And that was the first one we did from a Vogue magazine. So try different magazines. You can use local magazines from your area as well. Okay, I'm looking for my Vogue magazine. I don't see it. I don't know. Okay. What if we, oops. Okay, I have a coffee table book here. Let's use her in conjunction with this coffee table book. And again, they're not the same ink, so it might not work. But let's try it. I'm just going to put a bit of tape just to secure. She's thinking about an Alaskan cruise. Let's try it. Okay, let's use, we could use Prussian blue again. That might be cool. Okay. I wish I could have seen Madonna live. She did come to our city. I didn't get tickets. I regret. Regret is real. Okay, I don't know if this is gonna work, but we're gonna try it. So again, to reiterate, you don't want it too thick, but if it's too thin, you won't get a good color payoff. And this is a coffee table book. Okay, let's see. Take a peek. You can always lay it back down. Oh, I don't think I put that in the right spot. Let's see. So she kind of works, so I'm going to take her off. And the coffee table book didn't really work that great. She kind of worked. Oh, I kind of smushed it. Not great. I think I wrecked her. Let's just put it on here. Apple saw Madonna on her first tour, and then again about 20 years later. Yeah, so this didn't really work. Let's just wipe it off. This part didn't work. I think I had too much paint, but I'm going to wipe her off so at least I can maybe use her in collage if I'm able to see her face. That tape is causing an issue. Yeah, it's getting the paint off too. So I don't think we can use her in collage. I'll try a little bit more. There, she's kind of coming back. Ghost, like a ghost. So I'll just let her dry. She might come in handy someday for some collage, but I don't think that was successful. So here, she's still appearing, not here. I'm going to use a bit of matte medium. And we're going to see if we can get her attached to that. The paint was too dry. So if you leave it registered, you can sometimes save things. I need a brayer. Should wipe off that little bit of smudge by her nose. There we go. Just did some plastic surgery there. So I might splurge and buy myself a new 8x10 gel plate because mine is getting divots, and that looks like a tie-dye. So sometimes I'll keep my baby wipes if they're pretty. All right, let's pull Cary Grant off. There's our Cary Grant. We're going to pull him off here. For some reason, this part didn't stick. So we could do that again. We could use a little bit of the matte gel medium. Put it on my finger. Just need a little bit. Just right there. It's like a little extra super glue. Put it back down. Yeah, I wish plastic surgery was that easy, hey? Okay, let's see. A little bit on his forehead. That's not too bad. Okay, so we're going to just let that sit for a little bit longer. So the matte medium does take longer to dry, though. Wearing out a gel plate is a badge of honor. Well done, you. Thanks, Apple. I still have my big ones in pretty good shape, but I had so much going on, I didn't really want to take my big one out, my big Peggy. She's 11 by 14 or 12 by 14 or something like that. All right, so I had other ideas I was going to do. I don't think I'm going to get to them, but I'll show you my ideas and you can try them if you want. All right, so someone sent me, Lisa Mingus actually sent me some big images. Again, they were from one of those bigger magazines that, now that I've tried that older one, this might work. So I'll try this on Big Peggy sometime, these big images. So we'll see if we can get those to work another day. Another book I had thought of using is this vintage fashion book. And it's got some pretty cool images in it. I thought this one would be cool to do, but I would test this page first. So that's an idea I had for today that we're not going to get to. Also, I have this coffee table book. I buy these coffee table books either on the discount rack at the bookstore, or I buy them at a secondhand store. So this I know was from a secondhand store. And I thought this would be a cool one. But again, maybe this would be better on the big plate. There's not a lot of contrast. Like her lips aren't very contrasty, so they might not show very well. But I think her eyes and her nose would work well. But this book has some interesting ideas. Like that might be cool. I like this too for ideas on how to paint my image transfer. So I could do an image transfer where maybe I use a Posca marker. Once the image transfer is done, use a Posca marker right on the plate to make some interesting marks. So that's an idea. Or like ideas for how to add the pan pastel to image transfers. Often image transfer, oh, that's interesting. Often image transfers are of people, but they don't have to be of people. And again, this is for a makeup idea, not for myself, but for like art. Apple says there's an artist who lines up her gel plates in a row and pulls very long prints on exam table paper. Some are 3 feet long. Well, that's cool. I do like using the medical exam roll. I do find it does crinkle a bit. I think Diane wanted me to try one today. See, I didn't leave that long enough. Let's see if her face came off. There we go. We got her face off. Somewhat. So that's pretty ugly. I feel like the transfers got worse and worse. So that's something. But maybe you could go in with like a black marker and draw your own face, or charcoal or something like that. There's always ways to use even the fails, right? I'm just going to pull this. I don't think I left the... I picked up a little bit there, but I think because there was... this paper is quite thin, so there's a little bit of a wrinkle. So it doesn't pick up very well where there's wrinkles. That's why the medical exam paper for image transfers, I don't know, it might be too... It's not wrinkly. We could try one. I just don't feel up to it right now. I think I need to go eat something. The other thing I could show, I showed you guys all the transfers, right? We showed the pile of transfers. We could show the pile of leftovers, right? So that could be used in collage. That would be cool in a collage. That might work maybe in a Halloween journal. That, I mean, I could still use the other side, but I might use that to make something. This, we wiped off the paint, and that looks cool. This I thought would be cool in my Halloween journal, but I would definitely want to transfer that side first. That's not so much. This we could still transfer, and then we didn't do Kim. We did something on the other side. So I hope. Hi, Dana. I'll just lay out the successful ones here, and we'll probably put those in our thumbnail. I wish I would have had a few more successful than what we had, but you know, such is life. So I'll probably put those in my thumbnail. Those 3, perhaps. I don't know. That one worked well, but I think for thumbnail, we'll just do those 3. So I'm just going to grab my iPad here. See if I missed anything. Diane says, when I have fugly prints, I just cover them with contrasting polka dots. That's a good idea. Apple says for, I think, Madonna's first tour, you were going to see the Beastie Boys. Excellent. She was an added bonus. Okay, so oops, I should bring these down a little bit. We'll have Cary Grant peeking up the top. Some representation there. Okay, well, thanks for coming by, everybody. Like I said, I won't be back on the 17th. Both Anne and I are not available to stream. I might try to release my flip through video of my little journal that I put somewhere. I don't know where it went on that day. And hopefully Carol will be back streaming by then. And so image transfers, take them or leave them. I don't think they're the be all end all. They're fun to do. I like when they work. Sometimes they don't work even when you've done a lot. Yeah, I did learn that I can use my National Geographics, I think. I'll keep trying that and see if it's just that special edition or all of the editions. So we'll try that. Yeah, the collage soup images work well, but I find they don't work with the Liquitex. I highly recommend the golden fluid for those and quick. Thanks, Kelsey. It's been a while since I've done just a stream dedicated to transfers. I do have a video. If you go to my channel and you look under most popular, my most popular video is an image transfer video. So feel free to check that out. And I appreciate you guys spending your time with me. And I hope you all stay well and healthy and safe. And I'll see you streaming next the last week of June when I'm on Anne's channel. And we're going to do a little giveaway. Yeah, so Anne can't go because she's got that issue that she's taking care of. And I'm actually going to be out of town. So yeah, I'll be back at the end of June with Anne. But I'll see you guys in streams. I'll be around. I'll be around the internets. All right. Bye-bye. I have to take my camera off. Oh, I forgot to show. This one worked too. All right, I have to take this off so I can press stop. Oh. All right. Bye-bye.